Donald McEachin of Virginia. For 2 decades, he had been a distinguished leader in Richmond, serving in both the House of Delegates and the state Senate. And here in the House, he was a force for climate action and environmental justice, whether on the Energy and Commerce Committee or a member of the Select Committee. Natural Resources also, Energy and Commerce, Natural Resources, and the Select Committee on Climate. He was a relentless advocate for environmental justice, for saving the planet, for Virginia families, for his district, for his state, for the country, for the planet, for the world. He will be deeply missed by all of his colleagues, and he leaves behind a legacy that will improve the lives of all children. It was just a shocking blow to us that he passed. I hope it's a comfort to his loving wife, Colette, whom I have spoken to and extended the greetings of the sympathy and greetings of the Congress to her, thanking her for sharing her with him with us, even in this later. He had been diagnosed for a while, but nonetheless always coming to work and doing his job. His children, Mac, Brianna, and Alexandra, and grandchild, Gail, I hope it's a comfort to them that all of us mourn his loss. When I said to her, thank you for sharing him with us, even when he was physically challenged, she said, and I asked her permission to say this, she said, that's what really kept him going. Get up in the morning to know he was going there to do the people's work, to put on a suit and tie and go there and continue the fight for the people. So we thank her for sharing. Okay, and this week we have marked a week of transition as the moment, House Democrats are passing the torch to a new generation of leaders. I'm so excited about the enthusiasm of so many people who wanted to participate. Over the years, we kept adding to the number of people who would be at the leadership table. When I first became leader, it was 8, and now it's more like 17. I think they may have added 1 or 2 in the last day or so, more than double what was there, again, when I first became a leader. And so it reflects the beautiful diversity of our caucus, and I couldn't be more thrilled. Again, I mentioned Hakeem Jeffries. They tell me he's leader designate until January. Is that correct? So, well, leader Hakeem Jeffries and whip designate Catherine Clark and chairman designate Pete Aguilar. We're proud of all of them. They have leadership experience, and I wish them well. Together, House Democratic Leader, it reflects, again, not only the diversity, but the vibrancy of our caucus. Again, the new leadership always bringing fresh ideas, entrepreneurial thinking, their take on a vision and their path to achieving that vision will invigorate the caucus. Again, I'm personally grateful for the opportunity I have had to serve in leadership, 20 years as leader or speaker, just a while as whip to begin with, and I consider it a great privilege, but I'm very, very happy to be seeing all that I wish that, as one who has served so long, my dream is that they do better. And I think everybody who has a position of responsibility always wants their successors to do better. Again, as we prepare for the 118th Congress, House Democrats remain hard at work to protect and strengthen the financial security of America's working families. We still have work to do in these last few weeks. I know you want to know the schedule, but we're not quite there yet. Yesterday, we passed something that was urgent and necessary to avert a catastrophic national rail shutdown. It was something that was necessary, and the president asked us to do it. He has been at the table as the most pro-union president we have had, not only for the first iteration of it, but then the further improvement of it. And he made it clear that if we didn't take the action we did yesterday, 765,000, over 750,000 jobs that we lost, including union jobs, $2 billion a day in economic activity would be erased. Families unable to, having more of a struggle to buy groceries and life-saving medication. Small businesses unable to get their product to market, especially concerning to the ag community where perishable goods have a short fuse and need to be transmitted. At the same time, we stand firmly in support of paid sick leave. It's an outrageous that every developed country in the world has paid sick leave except the United States of America. And that's why, in addition to our bill adopting a tentative agreement, that was the heart of it, and then we voted at 7 days of paid sick leave for the workers. Again, doing so a matter of values for the people. It's another iteration I had in BBB put forth a family and medical leave legislation. Just for some of you, well, maybe none of you were around then, but you know from history that when President Clinton became president, right away he signed a family medical leave legislation. We had been passing it, but we couldn't get a signature. And so it was a big triumph. People celebrate the anniversary of it. His library is largely dedicated to the opening ceremony, had the families affected, and it wasn't paid. It wasn't paid. But yet it was a breakthrough that respected and recognized the need for family leave, for sick leave. And still here we are 30 years later, well, 29 years later, still without paid sick leave. Now, again, we had it in the BBB, but it didn't make the cut. But we're not giving up on it. I always like to tell this story because it was so... When we were taking our bus tour on When Women Succeed, America Succeeds, when we were in New Haven, Congresswoman DeLauro, who's been such a champion on all of these issues, the women were telling their stories. And one woman said, I'm not going to tell my story only. I'm going to tell the story of women that I see. I'm a school bus driver. And when my school bus pulls up to the curb and I see a mom with tears in her eyes, I know exactly what to expect. She's going to be putting a sick child on the bus because she has no choice. She cannot afford a caregiver to take care of the child at home. She has no paid sick leave, so she cannot take off work. In fact, she has no sick leave. If she takes a number of days to help care for her daughter, she may lose her job. She may lose her job. So no benefit, risk job, no ability, making enough money to pay for a caregiver. A child will be on the bus sick, and that isn't healthy for that child or for other children on the bus. So these jobs on the railroad, they're tough jobs. They take skill and really experience and the rest. You would think that there would be a recognition that if they needed sick leave, that to replace them would be difficult because of the skills required. But the fact is mostly they're not replaced because it shrinks the cost of the company, increases the profits, and that's the problem that we are in. Private equity, Wall Street, taking ownership of these companies, shrinking expenses, increasing profits, no sick leave for important workers. But again, even at the other aspects of it, for women in the workplace, parents in the workplace, not even women, not just women, we have important work to do as a value in our country. I'll just say that some of you have heard me say from time to time that Adam Smith wrote 2 books, because this is all about, is capitalism serving us? I think it is, but it needs to be more compassionate. It hadn't recognized the factors of production involve respect for workers. Adam Smith wrote a second book, not only Wealth of Nations, which he talked about laissez-faire, laissez-faire, but he also wrote another book called The Theory of Moral Sentiments, which I from time to time quote, because in it, his message in that book was that the strength of our economy and the strength of our workers go hand in hand. I wish he had written one book.